Alright, hey everyone, how is it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over Friday, September 10th MLB games. Of course, we're starting a little bit later than normal. I just came back out there for coaching early this morning. And it's time to jump into some baseball because the weekend is shaping up to be even more exciting than you can expect. And baseball is just popping off. It's great. The American League race has never been tighter. We have 5 teams within 1 game of each other. Awesome. And on the other side, we have a tie for the last spot in the playoff race on the National League. And of course, in the West, it's never stopping. San Francisco and the Dodgers exchanging blows constantly. Who's going to come out on top? We only got about 20 games left in the season. But in this video, 15 games to go through from the night before. Let me know if I skip over something important, like 15 games. I can't get every little note, so if you can help out the channel and spread the news of maybe your team and whatnot, that's much appreciated. But thanks for stopping in. Giants 6, Cubs 1, very first game of the night at home in Chicago. San Francisco taking care of business against a team they have to. We see Frank the Tank Schwindler hit a solo shot to give the Cubs an early lead in the 4th. But the Giants, they're never down and out. They put one up in the 6th to tie it and then have a monster inning in the 7th. Longoria hits his 11th home run, Belt his 22nd, both coming in that 7th inning to give them the lead, and they don't look back after that. Hendricks had a pretty good outing, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, whereas the bullpen for the Giants took care of business. The only blemish, that home run to Frank the Tank. But San Francisco, they maintain that lead, and unfortunately for them, they always have to deal with the Dodgers chasing them down, and we'll get to that game in a little bit. Pirates 4, Nationals 3, first game on the slate that doesn't have a whole lot of meaning. There'll be a lot of them, and we'll tend to go through them. Washington out 2 runs early. Pittsburgh comes in, and then we see Josh Bell hit his solo shots in the 6th inning. Pittsburgh tries to make a game of it, even in the bottom of the 9th. They get within striking distance, I guess. The 1 run, put up 2 runs in the 9th, and pull within 1 run. They actually have hit the Nationals 10-3. So a lot of issues with an error there that caused that. We see Alford hit his 5th of the season in that 7th inning. Rogers goes 6.2, 200 runs in 1K, giving up that 1 solo homer. And Brault doesn't go through the 3rd. He only lasts 2, giving up 200 runs, and then the bullpen. It's a pretty uneventful game. We'll just continue on. Baltimore 6, Blue Jays 3, and this one is rough for the Blue Jays. They had quite an incident on the mound with Robbie Ray and the pitching coach getting into it. Baltimore was out 3-0 in that 1st inning. Mullins leads it off for them with a home run, his 28th of the season. McKenna also in there, a 2-run shot, hitting his 2nd of the season to give them a 3-0 lead. We see the Jays, they are on that winning streak, and they battle back, putting up 3 of their own in the 5th and 6th. Just generate a couple of runs, and Semien continues to be hot, 2 hits RBI. Bichette also hot, 2 hits RBI. It's important to see Springer back in the lineup coming down the stretch for the Blue Jays. He's going to be a big part of what they can pull off. But Baltimore comes in, and later Santander hits a 3-run shot with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. That ends up being the difference maker. Both teams get 10 hits. Robbie Ray, one of his weaker outings this season, 4.13 earned runs, giving up a couple of home runs on 8 strikeouts. Ellis, 5 innings pitched, 104 Ks. He's going to get the no decision, of course, because of the bullpen, again, blowing the lead for the Orioles, not something we're not used to seeing. And yeah, Robbie Ray goes 98 pitches. It's not a great outing for him. Only a couple walks, which has always been an issue. Home runs and walks, and he's keeping that under control at least. Rockies 11, Phillies 2. Phillies, guys, they're still in the race. They're 3.5 games back in the wild card, but they cannot just keep losing. Teams like the Rockies, they've lost now 2 in a row to the Rockies, and they're losing up ground. On the division is pretty much in Atlanta's hands now. But yeah, Rocky Story, 20th home run. Cron, his 27th home run, and Diaz his 17th. 3 home runs. They're all coming later. The Rockies were already up 4-0, and they just come late in the game. And we see Gregorius is his 11th in the 9th. Doesn't matter too much. Marquez goes 6 with 0 runs, 6 Ks, keeping the Phillies bats quiet. And Coonrod goes 1 before they do the bullpen style game in Philly. And yeah, clearly did not work out for them, and Phillies one game above 500. Tigers 10, Rays 4. It's going to be interesting how this goes. It looks like Wander Franco left the game with a hamstring injury, could be missing the rest of the season. I think that's the biggest thing you want to take out of this game. But after that, we see Detroit. They exchange runs in the 5th before Detroit takes the lead in the 6th, putting up 2. Tampa Bay actually immediately came back in the top of the 7th. No home runs coming in, but Detroit, they had a lot of home runs coming in, definitely in the 8th when Reyes hits his 5th, being the difference maker. And then in the 7th, they take the lead with Scope hitting his 20th of the season. Alexander was 4.14 on 1 on run, 4 Ks, Waka 5, 106 Ks. Both these starters did what they wanted for the teams, but it's bullpens that struggled, especially Tampa's. Got to be some concern there, but Tampa's in a pretty safe position. I think out of everything, Wander Franco going down is the biggest concern. Subway Series, Mets 10, Yankees 3. Yankees just on a downward spiral, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. And definitely, they could have had this locked up if they just played 500 ball over the past 10 games. They could have been like 5 games up on the Red Sox. Red Sox struggling as well. Jay's been hot, so yeah, they're putting themselves in a spot that they didn't suspect. Yeah, they were up 2-1 early, coming off the bat of Gallo hitting his 32nd home run of the season. We also see Rizzo hitting one late in the game. Doesn't matter at that point. They're already down 10-2. The Mets had a monster 4th inning. Lindor hits his 14th, a solo shot. And in that 3rd inning, they put up 5. So early in the game, it was pretty much over. Montgomery had a rough outing, 3.15 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. McGill, 7, 2 earned runs, and 10 Ks. Good outing for him. He almost made the thumbnail. But Mets are just, yeah. Brewers 10, Indians 3. Brewers just taking care of business. Quick runs early, 2-1. Indians had a lead, but then Milwaukee Urias, 20th home run of the season, coming in the 4th, gives them a lead. In the 6th inning, they just pile it on, or the 5th inning, they pile it on 6 more runs. Escobar hits 2 home runs in the game, 27 on the season, coming back-to-back innings. Morgan goes 4.17 earned runs, just rough. That ERA 6.03. Who knows if we're going to be seeing him much longer. They'll probably ride him out at least the rest of the season, but could be the end of Morgan. Hauser goes 6, 0 runs, 5 Ks. Good outing. Brewers are ready for postseason. They're looking good heading into that early October. Braves 6, Marlins 2. Phillies lose. Braves take a big win to put their lead in the division even bigger, of course. They all but have it locked up at this point. Down 2-0 early. Ian Anderson had a rough first inning, but after that he was dialed in. Home run coming from Sanchez in that first 2-run shot. That was pretty much it. And then after that, the Braves bats get to work. Anderson goes 5, 2 runs, 9 Ks, and Rogers 4, and 6. Good win for Atlanta. They're pretty much getting ready, pretty much peaking at the perfect time, ready for the postseason. Fun stuff. Houston 10, Angels 5. This game, Houston's just got a little bit of a lead on the division. We would expect them to cruise in here. They're up 3-2 after 3. Angels had a quick lead in the 4th, but then Ohtani, his outing kind of fell off the rails, giving up 6 coming in that 4th inning. He's going to get charged with most of it. He did hit his 44th home run of the season, but he doesn't get any more at bats. I guess he gets 2 more, but they both are walks. And then Walsh 26th. Ohtani's going to get pulled, of course, after that. Rough inning. Couldn't get out of the 4th, giving up 9 hits, 6 earned runs, and only 1 strikeout. Valdez on the other side, 5, 4, and 6 Ks, giving up a couple home runs. But Astros just pick up a win where you should. Royals 6, Twins 4. Game doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, but the Twins out 4-3 after 1. There was a lot of runs in that first inning. Byron Buxton continues to deliver. Too bad he wasn't there all season long. Donaldson also 22nd. We see Benintendi, multiple home runs, 1 in the 1st and then 1 in the 11th, which ends up being the difference. 2-run shot in the 11th, and the Royals take the lead there. Bullpens get it done. Lynch had a nice outing, 6-4. And Jacks, they kind of mash each other, 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. But extra innings, what it takes. White Sox 4, Red Sox 3, and with all the COVID stuff going on in Boston, they just can't put it together. Lucky for them. The team around them is struggling too, so they haven't fallen back from that first wild card spots. But they can't keep losing these games. They played well last night, but they were down 4-0 in the early 4 innings. Tried to chip away at it. Bobby Dahlback continues to be pretty hot ever since pretty much the trade deadline when they didn't bring in a first baseman. He's been pretty good. He had a triple. He had his 21st home run. Abreu has his 29th for the White Sox. Hoek, 3.23 earned runs, giving up that home run. And Rondon, he had 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and 7 strikeouts. White Sox bring in their solid closing rotation with Kimbrel and Hendricks, and they don't give up a run. Only 1 hit, 1 walk between them, and they close the door. Reds 4, Cardinals 2. Reds are still tied with San Diego now because San Diego lost for that wild card spot, and they kicked the Cardinals down a little bit. This is a very big series this weekend for both teams. Pretty much whoever wins it is going to be in a better spot. Duh. But the Cardinals, they are not going to get the sweep, so they're not going to be able to close the entire gap on the Reds. But they got to make sure they win the next 2, otherwise they're going to fall behind, obviously. Reds and them 2-2 by the time the 4th is over off Molina, hitting a 2-run shot. Suarez also hits his solo shot. Votto comes in there and hits a solo shot. Those are all coming in the first 4 innings. And then the bullpen's coming in. That's how we see it. Lester ends up going that 7th inning and giving up 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, a couple of home runs. And McFarland, he's going to get the 9th inning blow up when the Reds put up 2 in the top of the 9th. And the Cardinals just can't seem to find a closer. Since Reyes has struggled, they've tried a couple different guys and it's not worked out. So that's obviously going to be a big problem. Ali goes 6, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks himself. And Givens, yeah. A couple more games to go, of course. All these teams, pretty big implications. The Athletics pulling within 1 game because the teams ahead of them lost, except the Mariners. So that's caps the 5th team in the playoff, or 4th team now in the playoff. Right? They were out 6-0 early, and they're playing a good series against Texas. They can win and sweep if they play well enough. And they were out 6-1 after 2, and Texas brought it close, 6-4, as close as it gets. Before the Oakland Bats are just alive. Olsen, a nice 4-hit, 4 RBI night. Starling Marte, 3-hit multi-homer night. Bottom of the lineup, multiple hits from all the Oaklands. A 16-hit night. All the Oaklands, yeah. Bullpen game, essentially, Blackburn doesn't get out of the 3rd. 4 earned runs for him. Otto goes 3.1. He gives up 8. And then bullpens, of course, come in after that. Next up, Dodgers 3, Padres 0. So the Dodgers maintain pace on the Giants. And the Padres lose ground to the Reds, and now they're tied for that last spot. Of course, everyone thought Dodgers and Padres were going to be essentially what the Dodgers and Giants are now, but that's where we're at. Home runs coming from Max Muncy's 32nd, a 2-run shot. All it takes, Urias goes 7, giving up no earned runs, 7 Ks. Between Urias, Scherzer, and Buehler, the 3-headed monster of the Dodgers is just scary. Musgrove goes 6, giving up 3 earned runs, 7 Ks. Good outing, like 5 walks, a little bit of a concern, of course, but it's good outing. Should be in a position to win, but no offensive support. Mariners 5, Diamondbacks 4, and the Mariners, they find a good spot. They always seem to win right when they need to. They don't get the run differential in their favor, but they're winning games, and that's what they did yesterday. 3-2 after 2, and then Diamondbacks tied up before middle innings. We find Mariners, Tom Murphy really carrying the load, multi-home run night, 11th on the season, both coming off Bumgarner, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 6th, and that's pretty much what leads to the win. 6 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 6 Ks for Bumgarner, 3 home runs he gave up. And on the other side, Marco Gonzalez goes 6, 0 earned runs, so all the runs he gave up were unearned, and 3 Ks. The 2 errors almost hurting Seattle, but they managed to get out of it, and they are 1 game back in the playoff race. That makes this playoff race just super exciting. Hope you guys are as pumped up as me. Let me know what you guys think is coming up, who's going to hop who, how these games are going to go. I want to see some predictions in the comments. If you guys are listening this far, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Maybe I left out some important part. Let me know. Otherwise, we will see you guys for that next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.